What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man Jay. So in this video today, we're going to be taking a look at and talking about the iPhone 10. Now, I know that it is late 2021 going into early 2022. However, there are still a few people that are using the iPhone 10 or that is even looking to get into the iPhone 10. So the purpose of this video is to help those people out, talk a little bit about it. We're going to look at the front-facing camera, the rear-facing camera as far as video recording goes. We'll also take a few pictures with this device just so you guys can kind of see some of the performance and some of the things that this device can still do here in late 2021 going into early 2022. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and dive into the iPhone 10. All right, guys, so this device came out in 2017, and this is when Apple decided to get rid of the home button and give us that Face ID and give us that premium feel and that hands-free type of feel when it came down to unlocking your device and maneuvering around with your device. They wanted to get rid of the home button, which I thought they should have kept, but nowadays I kind of understand the reasoning behind it. But looking at the design of this device, keep in mind, this is a device that came out in 2017. We are now heading into late 2021, going into early 2022. And as you can see, it hasn't really changed that much as far as the design goes. This is a typical Apple device. Looking at the 11 and 12, if you were to look at the 11 and 12, you would notice that looking directly face on, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference except for the flat edges that it has now on the 12 and 13, vice the rounded edges that it had on the 10 and the 11. Now, looking at the design though, you had your back, it was glass, you had the stainless steel sides. This device was premium. You had the, I think it was the first time they put the OLED screen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was the first time they put that OLED screen on their devices. And when I tell you that this screen is amazing, even still here in 2021 going into 2022, I mean that. I actually prefer to look at videos and things like that on this screen over my iPhone 12, and that's saying a lot for the iPhone 10. And when you put it in perspective, this screen size on here was 5.8 inches. So I felt like that was a great screen size for them to put on this device with the rounded corners and things like that. I think that 5.8 inch screen just made this device that much more compact. Even though, you know, the screen size is kind of big, it made the phone feel small as far as the, you know, edges is concerned with those rounded corners and stuff. That 5.8 inch screen, this device still felt pretty small in the hand. And just to throw this out there, I am running 15.1, which is the new operating system that just recently came out. So I wanted to make sure I told you guys that as well. And that's another thing that you also have to take into account is that even though this phone came out in 2017, it is still getting updates. That's the biggest thing. It is still getting updates and it is still running smooth. When I tell you it is still running really, really smooth. Look how fluid that is. And I got a lot of apps crammed on this device because this is my device that I use when I'm sitting around the house and I'm just, you know, hanging out, or when I'm recording videos. This device is the device that's in my hand, and my iPhone 12 will stay mounted, you know, in its place for my videos, and then I'll use this device around the house. But that's neither here nor there. The design, 100%, this is a go as far as the design. So if you're looking at the iPhone 10, do not think that you're going to be getting an outdated design as far as the device goes, because this thing is still premium. Yes, they have changed into the flat edges now, but I promise you, as far as the design goes, you will not be disappointed. And as far as performance goes, this thing is still a beast. It has an A11 Bionic chip, has about 3 gigs of RAM. But with that A11 Bionic chip, you can game on this thing. It's very, very smooth. It's very fluid. It doesn't even feel like the phone is outdated, honestly. When you put this in your hand and you scrolling through your apps or you're on websites and things like that, it doesn't even feel like this phone is outdated. It feels like it's fluid. It feels like it's currently moving with the speed of like any other device. I put it next to my iPhone 12 and the 11, and you know, it feels just like those devices. It feels smooth. That's because Apple knows how to, you know, optimize their chips so that you can get the best performance out of, you know, your iPhone. But as far as playing games on this thing, it's a breeze. You can play games like Asphalt. You can play, you know, Call of Duty Mobile. You can play PUBG. You can play all the latest titles on this device as well. And they're going to run fluid and smooth, just like if you were playing on an iPhone 11, 12, hell, or even an iPhone 13. It's going to run just as smooth as those devices with no hiccups and things like that. So as far as performance, I still give this at least an 8.5 to a 9 on performance in 2021, early 2022, because of the things that you can still do with this device that's across the board for, you know, the 11, 12, and 13. So what I want to do for you guys is go outside and test the front facing and the rear facing cameras, just so you guys can get an idea of what the video quality is going to look like for the iPhone 10. right now in 2021, 2022. So you can know what you can expect if you was to pick up this device. We'll do it a little bit in vlog style just so I can kind of talk a little bit about the quality while we're going through it. So let's head outside. All right, guys, so this is the front-facing camera on the iPhone 10. One thing to note is that I'm using the native camera app. I am not using Filmic Pro or Pro Movie to dial in the settings. I'm walking towards the sun just so that the exposure won't keep messing up, but I did auto lock it once I got it dialed in on the actual native camera app. So I am walking towards the sun. Number two, I am using the Mayono wireless microphone system, which is what I've been using for this whole video as far as audio is concerned, for those that may want to know. So let's talk about this front-facing camera and its quality. What do you guys think about this actual quality? For me personally, I think the quality is great, but this has to be the only downfall of the iPhone 10. And that downfall is the fact that the front-facing camera only shoots 1080 at 30. It doesn't go 1080 60. It only goes 1080 30. The iPhone 11 shoots 4K 60. So if you're somebody who's going to be doing vlogs, just keep that in mind. If you're going to be using the front-facing camera, just keep that in mind, that this camera only goes 1080 30, just HD right here on the front-facing camera. So this is what you can expect as far as quality goes from the native camera app. If you guys do want to see a video in the future of me using this front-facing camera and the rear-facing camera, you know, and try to dial in the settings to try to make it perfect for outside and indoor lighting, just drop a comment below and I'll make sure I do that right here on the iPhone 10. So with that being said, let's go ahead and switch to the rear-facing camera. All right, you guys, so this is an example of the rear-facing camera at 4K 60. One thing to note is that because I'm using a rear-facing camera and the sun is facing me, I did not get an opportunity to auto-lock the exposure, so it's going to do whatever it's going to do. But this is 4K 60, and that's one thing that you have to take into account for the iPhone 10, and why you can't count it out is because the rear-facing camera can still shoot 4K 60, which is what the 11, 12, and 13 can do as well. But one thing to note is that this whole video is going to be dropped in the 1080 60 timeline, just to keep it standard across the board. No jumping from 4K to whatever. It's going to be in a 1080 60 timeline. So being that this camera can shoot 4K 60 on the rear, just gives you another warm and fuzzy on why this camera is still relevant in 2021, because every single phone right now is shooting 4K 60. I'm not sure, there probably is a handful of phones that can shoot something higher. I'm not 100% sure, but I know as far as Apple goes, 4K 60 is where we are right now in the Apple ecosystem. This one is the only one that shoots 1080 on the front still. So when you can get 4K on the front and 4K on the rear, I think you're winning there. But as far as the iPhone 10 is concerned, this is still a good setup for FaceTiming. And if you need that 4K 60 on the rear, you can do that as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a few pictures with this and wrap this video up. All right, guys, so there you have it, the iPhone 10 in all its glory. Now, if you are somebody who's on the fence about grabbing an iPhone 10, hopefully this video has helped you. And if you are going to grab it, please go into grabbing it with an open mind. You don't have to have the latest and greatest. As you can see, the iPhone 10 can still keep up in 2021, early 2022. Now, if you did find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit that like button so the YouTube algorithm can be nice to this video. It's been your man Jay, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.